Reason we have you all here this morning is to give you an update on an incident that occurred on I-480 south, I-80 westbound interchange ramp this morning. There was a crash, fatality crash. Here to give you some details of what led up to that crash and what our department is doing right now. So shortly after 2:30 a.m. this morning, we got a broadcast from 911 dispatch that a vehicle that was involved in a possible shots fired incident occurred in Council Bluffs. One of the law enforcement agencies over there was in pursuit of one of the vehicles involved in that incident. That vehicle traveled into Nebraska, into Omaha, and the description of the vehicle was given. We were able to determine a possible residence that vehicle was registered to. Officers went to that area in North Omaha, saw the vehicle, began following that vehicle, and was trying to get more information about exactly what happened in Council Bluffs. They also requested our helicopter, Able 1, if they could get overhead to have some overwatch over the vehicle. Unfortunately, due to weather, they were not available, so the officers continued to follow the vehicle and surveil them to gather more information. At some point, they got onto the interstate around Cummings Street, was headed southbound on I-480, and as that vehicle was traveling on 480, going onto I-80 West on that interchange ramp, the officers decided to initiate a traffic stop. Shortly after they initiated that attempted to initiate that traffic stop or make that traffic stop, that vehicle went off the road, rolled, and one passenger was ejected, was taken to a local hospital with CPR in progress, and unfortunately that passenger died. It was an adult female that passed. There was two other occupants in the vehicle. The driver was a male, and there was one other female passenger in that vehicle. They're okay. They're actually here at police headquarters being questioned about the incident right now. Happy to take any questions. That's kind of the general overview.
Were the two other folks seatbelted?
That I don't know. I know the one occupant that was ejected was not seatbelted, and they were given medical aid as soon as the officers located them outside of the vehicle.
How soon after they tried to initiate a traffic stop did the vehicle take off? Was there...
What I was briefed, they attempted to start the traffic stop, initiated their lights, and the vehicle picked up speed, but it was almost simultaneous that they hit their lights, and shortly thereafter that vehicle went off the road, rolled, and then they obviously stopped to render aid and take the other two individuals into custody at that point.
Any idea how fast they were going?
I don't know that at this point. We have our traffic unit investigating that side of the incident. They're out there with all of their equipment and doing that side of the investigation. Should be able to have some more details hopefully later today or tomorrow.
What type of vehicle?
It was a pickup truck. It was a white Nissan Titan. Not sure what the year was.
You know if it's registered to the occupants or stolen or anything?
What's that?
Was it registered to the occupants or stolen?
That I don't know. I don't believe it was stolen. I wasn't given that information. The plates were proper because the area that the officers were looking, they did locate the vehicle in that area going back to that residence, or at least near the residence.
Where did do you know where the incident in Council Bluffs began?
I don't. I know they're still giving us information about if they found a scene. It sounds like there was a disturbance between two groups of people, or at least two vehicles, and this was one of the vehicles that they located shortly after that 911 call came out in Council Bluffs, and they initiated a pursuit. They then canceled, and that's when that vehicle came into Nebraska.
Were all these people adults in that pickup truck?
I believe the driver was a teenager. I'm not sure on the age yet. Next of kin has been notified, so just out of respect for family and friends and everything, I don't want to get too detailed into the passengers. We'll give that information as soon as we get next of kin notifications out.
And then the person who owned the vehicle that it was registered to or whatnot, did they have a criminal history or an open?
I know we have some initial information, but I don't feel comfortable giving that information out right now. We can provide that in an update. We're still, like I said, this is very preliminary still as far as all of that. We're still interviewing the officers that were involved, witnesses, and also the involved that are from the pickup truck as well.
Were there, you said they determined that the vehicle belonged to a residence in North Omaha? Was that by reading the plate?
I assume so. I know they got a description from, I don't know if it's Potawatomi County or Council Bluffs that was in the pursuit, but we received that from law enforcement over in Iowa, a description of the vehicle, and I'm assuming the plate as well.
You know, do the officers procedurally go on leave, or what happens in this type of situation?
It's all dependent on the investigation. That we can let you all know. I'd assume we obviously want to be cognizant of the officers. They were just involved in something very traumatic, so we want to make sure that their well-being is being looked after as well, and make sure if they need time off that they get the time off that they need. There has been other incidents where officers have gone back to duty as well, so it just kind of I don't know if they're going to be on administrative leave or not in this particular situation, but that's possible.
Technically, legally, this is an in custody,
Correct.
just in that categorization.
Correct, and that's because the officers were behind the vehicle and attempting to stop the vehicle, and they crashed and someone is now deceased. We treat that and have treated that traditionally as an in-custody death. Just working with Don Klein in his office, that's just procedurally what we've done since working with him, and just making sure that we're consistent in our investigations so that we can make sure that we do our due diligence on our side of things.
How many vehicles from OPD were involved following this truck, and how many officers total?
I know at the point of the traffic stop, I believe there's 2 vehicles, but I'm not sure how many total. I know that there was some officers ahead of the traffic stop that had stop sticks available if those were needed, but they never even got close to those officers to do any sort of intervention like that.
And you don't have ages on the dead person or
They're an adult. It's an adult female.
adult?
Yeah.
No age.
Not right now. I'll wait till the next of kin notification.
Did the officer's vehicle have, a camera on the front that sort of showed the whole incident?
They do have dash camera footage. Every Uniform Patrol Bureau cruiser has dash cameras, and obviously officers have their body-worn camera footage, so we should have quite a bit of footage to go through, and that's just part of the investigation. So we'll definitely go through that and make sure that we do a thorough investigation.
Was there anything on the road that might have caused them to overturn debris or anything like that?
I don't think there's anything on the road. From what I was told, they went off the road into the grass into the median area. I'm not sure if they struck a rail or what they struck, but just from experience, when you go off the road and into medians, curbs, ditches, everything like that, that can cause a vehicle to roll pretty easily.
The lane they were in at the time of the crash, was that the nearest lane to the grass on the far right?
So I don't know what lane they were in when they went off. I mean, they went off the road to the right on the north side, but I don't know exactly if they went across all lanes of traffic on that ramp or if they were already in that right lane. I'm not sure on that yet. I haven't spoken to our traffic unit. I just got the preliminary information right now. Anything else?
You said it was a traffic stop, but you wouldn't say it would be considered a pursuit?
So they didn't have their lights and sirens on pursuing the vehicle. They were following it until they were trying to gather some information about the vehicle to ensure that it was the correct vehicle. At some point, I'm guessing, it sounds like they got the information that they needed to stop the vehicle, and as soon as they hit their lights, that was pretty much when the crash occurred. So yeah, they were surveilling the vehicle. They were behind it. I'd assume that those individuals probably knew that the police were behind them before they were stopped. So.
This had, the time element was 250 is what I've heard of
Yeah,
it.
I believe the crash was right around 250. This entire incident, from the time it came in from dispatch, from the call notes that I saw, was at 237, and then the crash was right around 249, 250.
I'm good.
Okay. If there's no more questions, the interstate should be open here sooner than later. They got to tow the vehicle and kind of clean up any debris, but it shouldn't be more than an hour
Was
or
that
so.
all lanes southbound?
It was all lanes. It was the interchange ramp. So if you're going I-480 south and you're taking the ramp to go I-80 west, that ramp is closed.